Hi there. I didn't even hear you come in. Welcome. Today, I'm going to be joining you for my side hustle, managing the emotional lost and found, where misplaced feelings, forgotten dreams, abandoned coping skills, and slightly used bits of self-confidence come to hopefully be reunited with their owners. Now, we get new arrivals every day. So some common items include, let's see here, forgotten hobbies, misplaced motivation, boundary violations, and about 14 billion New Year's resolutions. But don't worry, they're in good company. Take this little guy, for example. He was found under a pile of "I'm too busy to have fun anymore." This happens to the best of us. Look, life is chaotic. It's messy. It's full of pop quizzes you didn't study for and emotions you weren't expecting. And days where you somehow lose both your house keys and your will to answer texts. But the good news is, that's why I'm here. To help you remember important things that you didn't even know you misplaced. Now, let's take a quick look at what's come in today, shall we? Let's see here. All right, we have 3 dented pieces of self-esteem, 5 shattered expectations, 2 dreams deferred and slightly crispy, and a full set of misplaced boundaries last seen at a company holiday party. Good luck getting those back. Everybody loses things along the way. Parts of ourselves we didn't even realize we dropped while trying to survive. And guess what? Losing something doesn't mean it's gone forever. It just means it's waiting for you here with me to come looking. So today, we're going to dig through the lost and found bin of our emotional lives, one battered, beautiful piece at a time. And I'm going to help you remember how they ended up here and how you can take them back home with you. Welcome to Error 404, Mental Health Not Found. All right, so our very first lost item today is trust in ourselves. And as you may be able to see, it's seen some things. It's currently pointing somewhere between give up entirely and try impulsively starting a bakery. Honestly, those are very, very strong directions. What's that? Yes. It's saying that you got a little lost after that one time you sent that risky text and immediately regretting existing entirely. Yeah. See, trusting in yourself isn't something you just have. No, it's built like IKEA furniture. Very confusing at first, but surprisingly sturdy if you keep showing up, even when you lose the tiny screws. So the big question is, how did your trust in yourself end up here with me? Well, let's see. Bad experiences? Check. Failed plans? Check. Society constantly telling you to second guess yourself? Oh yeah, that's a big old check. And trying to people please until you can't hear your own gut anymore. Good thing we're not playing chess, because that would be checkmate. But that's how life is sometimes. For example, one time I promised myself I would get up at 6 a.m. to journal, meditate, and do yoga. By 6:03 a.m., I was journaling about how much I hate being awake, meditating on the deep sadness of my blanket being so far away, and at the same time doing a very confusing yoga position commonly known as crying face down into the mattress. So yeah, I broke that trust in myself. It was a tiny crack, but those tiny cracks can add up if you aren't careful. So, how do you reclaim your trust in yourself? Start with tiny promises. Don't start by promising yourself that you're going to be an Olympic athlete overnight. Promise that you're going to drink a glass of water, brush one teeth, stretch for literally 1 second. Start hilariously and insultingly small. And then have micro celebrations. Did you drink that glass of water? Confetti. Called that doctor? Parade. Said no to another emotionally draining group project? Fireworks. Make your wins impossible to ignore. And finally, forgive your slips. You're gonna mess up again. Guaranteed. It's called being human. Trust rebuilds itself when you say, well, that was rough, but I'm still on my own team. So, if you feel like you can't trust yourself anymore, understand that you aren't broken. You're just bruised. And bruises heal. Slowly, weirdly, in colors nobody asked for, but they do heal. And if we're being honest, trusting yourself again, even a little, is really one of the most badass comebacks that you can make. Alright, so who's next? What else have we lost in this chaotic laundry pile of life? Let's find out. Next up in the emotional lost and found, playfulness. Poor thing. Looks like it's been buried under 30 deadlines, 2 mortgage payments, and approximately 78 hours of serious professional adult meetings. Ooh, I wonder if it still makes its original noise. Oh. Yeah. That's the sound of adulting, folks. Tragic, really. You know, when we were kids, playing was our job. Tag, cartwheels, imaginary pirate ships made out of couch cushions. You could literally hand a 6-year-old an empty box and they'd be like, perfect, I live here now, I'm a dragon. And then we grew up. And suddenly, if you don't monetize your hobbies or turn your free time into a productivity seminar, then you feel guilty. Like, sorry, I can't come out and play. I have a very important quarterly spreadsheet review with my cat. So, why is your playfulness here with me? Let's see. Pressure to be productive 24/7? Yeah. Fear of looking immature or unserious? Yeah. Chronic stress literally shrinking our ability to access joy, and that one is actually backed up by science, folks. Look it up. And somewhere along the lines, having fun got mislabeled as being irresponsible. But here's the thing, guys. Playfulness isn't optional. It's emotional maintenance. It's how our soul stretches and breathes. Without play, life becomes just survival. And frankly, if my options are silly or soulless, I'm going to take silly with a side of glitter every time. So, here are some ways that you can smuggle playfulness back into your day, even if you're a very super serious business adult. Start by having a dance party in your kitchen, or by sparkly pens and write grocery lists like a fantasy novel. Blow bubbles out your car window at stoplights. Bonus points if you can confuse everyone. Name every pigeon you see today like you're running a secret pigeon daycare. Or doodle the world's worst unicorn on a post-it note during meetings. Anything. You don't need a full playground. You just need 10 seconds of weirdness a day to keep that burnout goblin away. So, if you want to reclaim your playfulness and take it home with you today, there's really only one thing you need to do. Just one, playful thing. Stretch your face into the weirdest smile you can. Tap dance terribly. Make a duck noise. Anything you want. I'm gonna wait. You're good. You're good. I like that. See? You're already smiling, you little rebel you. We don't lose playfulness because we grow up. You lose it because you stop giving yourself permission to be light, to be ridiculous, to find joy even when the world tells you you should be too tired or too serious. We don't outgrow play. We outgrow the fear of looking silly, and that's where true freedom lives. Now, before we get to the next item in our Lost and Found, I have a vital meeting scheduled with Playfulness and a kazoo orchestra. So I'll see you after that. Next up from our Lost and Found vaults, your sense of wonder. And they are currently zooming in on, oh God, existential dread. Oh, fantastic. Sorry. Oh, much better. Look. Hope and curiosity, hiding in aisle 3 between skepticism and the weird TikTok conspiracy theories. Remember when everything was amazing? Clouds were secret sky islands, worms were tiny dragons, and every Y had like 30 bonus follow-up Ys. And then somewhere along the way, adulthood handed you a to-do list longer than a CVS receipt and said, sense of wonder, that's cute. Anyways, have you considered crippling anxiety instead? Have you ever wondered why your sense of wonder might have ended up here with me? Well, let's talk about your very serious adult responsibilities and how routine dulls our awe. Stress puts us in survival mode, and then there's no room for cloud appreciation when your inbox is attacking. Yep. And we start believing that wonder is childish, when in reality, it's fuel for our creativity, joy, and emotional resilience. When you stop being curious, you stop expanding, and that's when life starts to feel like you're trapped in a beige waiting room forever. Do you want your sense of wonder in your trunk to drive home with? All right. Well, then it is time for your wonder homework. And yes, it is homework you will want to do. So your homework missions are as follows. Go stare at the stars for 2 full minutes. Bonus points for dramatic guests. Find one new plant you've never noticed before and pretend like it's an alien species. Watch a spider build a web without moving. It's basically free therapy, even if you hate spiders. And then Google, ready for it, weird ocean creatures, and remind yourself that nature invented this. It's called the blobfish. It exists. You're welcome. Now, congratulations, you're officially more qualified to explore the galaxy than half the cast of any given sci-fi movie. Wonder reminds us that the world isn't just a giant flaming ball of taxes and heartbreak. It's full of tiny magic, everywhere, all the time. You just have to look up, around, and sometimes, honestly, just slow down enough to notice. Your sense of wonder isn't gone. It's just been waiting patiently, here, with me, like a slightly lonely cloud shaped curiously like a turtle. Go figure. All right, onward. Who's ready to reunite with something else they accidentally left behind while trying to become a functioning adult? Behold, someone's missing confidence in trying new things. Lightly used, mildly dented, smells like old gym socks and anxiety. But still in decent condition. Yes, confidence. The mystical force that lets people do terrifying things like sing karaoke or ask somebody on a date or join a pottery class without fear they'll literally combust from embarrassment. Spoiler alert. You won't combust, you'll just feel weird for like 12 seconds. So, should your confidence in trying new things be down here? No. But it is. Why is that? Let's see. Yeah, being bad at something is uncomfortable. Well, we're taught that mistakes equal failure instead of growth. Oh yeah, big one here. Social media highlights everyone's instant success stories, but never the blooper reels. Nobody posts, day 1, cried after attempting yoga, fell over, and I blame the mat. Which, by the way, would be my favorite Instagram account. Like the first time I tried cooking a nice meal for friends, I mistook sugar for salt and served what can only be described as sad chicken. Dessert edition. It was really, really bad. But nobody died. Nobody arrested me for crimes against poultry. The world's kept on turning. Being bad at something isn't a crime, it's a passport stamp for bravery. So, how did your confidence in trying new things come home with you then? Well, let's ask it and find out. Okay. It says, expect to suck at first. Imagine you're a newborn giraffe. Wobbly, confused, mildly adorable. You have every right to flop around when you're starting something new. Okay? Measure your bravery, not your skill. Don't ask if you did it perfectly. Ask if you showed up even though your brain was screaming like a tea kettle. Because that's the real win. Yeah, very important. Celebrate attempt energy. Celebrate trying like you won the Nobel Prize for Emotional Fortitude. So today, you should do the following. 3 public mistakes, 1 awkward compliment acceptance, and 5 deep breaths during a mild panic attack. Do that, and you'll be crushing it, champ. See, confidence isn't the absence of fear. It is fear, plus 1 step forward anyways. You don't wait to feel ready. You build readiness by doing messy, glorious, imperfect first drafts of living. And the helmet's optional, but highly recommended just in case that first pottery class gets a little enthusiastic. All right. So what's next in our emotional scavenger hunt? Well, we've got a very suspicious boundary violation alert coming right up. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone emotionally exhausted, behold, someone's very crumpled, very neglected boundaries. Once proud, now trampled under years of chronic people-pleasing, group texts, and the phrase, "Sure, I can take that on, no problem." Which is honestly the perfect metaphor. Boundaries are not about being mean. Boundaries are how you tell the world that I exist. I am not a human vending machine dispensing yes buttons on demand. Because you can take those yes buttons and I'll tell you where you can shove them. Yet, here your boundaries are. Rusting, neglected, and all but forgotten. Why? Let's see. We have the fear of disappointing people, especially people that guilt trip like it's an Olympic sport. The fear of confrontation, especially when confrontation feels like you're offending somebody's pet hamster. And we have the fear as being seen as selfish. Newsflash, taking care of yourself is not selfish, it's basic operating system maintenance. And I don't know about you, but I am going to update to the newest version. Plug that in.
Downloading patch 2.0. Stronger boundaries, fewer cry screams into pillows.
Okay, so let me tell you a story while I download this update. So this one time I agreed to help somebody move their entire apartment on my birthday during a thunderstorm, even though I had the spine of a cooked noodle at the time. And why? Because my brain said that if you say no, you'll be voted off the island. But there was no island, just a wet couch, back pain, and a lot of regret.
Update installed. Personal boundaries increased by 20%.
So are you thinking about grabbing these boundaries and running? Well, you can have them. They were yours to begin with. I'm not going to stop you. But here are some ways that you can help keep them. Number 1, practice saying no out loud. It's going to be weird, like you're speaking dolphin, but practice anyways. Try this in front of a mirror. No, thank you. Or I can't take that on. Or that sounds great for somebody else. Number 2, give yourself pause permission. You don't have to answer invitations or requests immediately. Say, let me think about it. And then sprint away if you need to. And number 3, no is a full sentence. You don't need to have a 20-slide PowerPoint explaining why you can't come to Becky's third baby shower themed around turnips. No is enough. Setting boundaries isn't about pushing people away. It's about building a life where you can actually breathe, where the people who stay in your life are the ones who love you for real, not just because you're convenient. Boundaries are actually an act of love for yourself and for the people who are meant to stay. All right. I've protected your peace long enough. It's time to unlock one last treasure in our lost and found. The ability to daydream without guilt. And trust me, you're going to want to get this one back. Gentlemen. And now, ladies, gentlemen, and overthinkers of all ages, our final reclaimed treasure, your ability to daydream without guilt. Last seen somewhere between your fifth productivity app downloaded and that existential crisis you had about whether you should be doing more with your life, while at the same time, ironically, microwaving instant ramen. This is my portable memory preservation unit. BPA free, dishwasher safe, and incredibly emotionally unstable. Release the childhood dreams. Not that one. Sorry. That one's just for me. See, it's really a nice thing to have. But here's the thing. Somewhere along the way, we started believing that if every second isn't optimized and hustling and monetized, that we're failing. Right? I mean, why simply stare at a sunset when you could be building your own personal brand around sunsets? Yeah, your ability to daydream should have never ended up here. And it's not your fault that it did. So what is to blame? Well, let's look. We have the hustle culture convincing us that wasting time equals failure. Chronic guilt over resting even though we desperately need it. And the fear that imagination is unproductive. That's right, folks. Society is to blame. It tricked us into thinking that lying on your couch and imagining yourself riding a giant hamster into battle is useless. Wrong. That's creative cross training, baby. I remember one afternoon I stared out the window for half an hour imagining what it would be like if squirrels could run coffee shops. I created entire squirrel baristas, menus, special seasonal lattes. Was it productive? Not in the slightest, but you know what it was? Pure serotonin for my brain. It was 30 minutes of pure, uninterrupted, undiluted happiness. One could argue that this could be the most important lost item. What would the world be like without imagination? I don't want to find out, but do you want yours back? Well, here's where to start. Number 1. Schedule nothing time. Literally put stare into space on your calendar like it's a dentist appointment. Make it official. Tuesday, 3 p.m. Be a space potato. Number 2, follow the what if thread. What if the ocean was filled with marshmallows? What if trees could text each other? Let yourself be ridiculous. Wonder is what happens when we need to be creative. And number 3, protect your guilt-free zones. Have sacred spaces, your bathtub, your corner of the couch where you always sit and lose the remote, where you can daydream without self-bullying. Because daydream isn't laziness, it's how our mind breathes. It's where new dreams and hope is born. You're allowed to exist in a moment without squeezing productivity out of it. You're allowed to just be. And honestly, the world could use a lot more people who take a few minutes to just dream. All right, emotional adventurers, that was our final item for today's Lost and Found. But the real treasure was you all along. Oh, come on, that was fun. And there you have it, folks. Today's emotional Lost and Found officially comes to a close. Reunited and it feels so good. Alright, so let's take a look at the things we tracked down for you today. We have your battered but mighty trust in yourself, your slightly deflated playfulness, your dusty but dazzling sense of wonder, your hilariously wobbly confidence in new things, your long-suffering boundaries, bless them,
And your gorgeous, guilt-free ability to daydream like the brilliant weirdo you are.
You grow up so fast.
But here's the truth that nobody really tells you. You were never broken for losing these things. Life just gets loud, it gets overwhelming, and sometimes just surviving means accidentally dropping pieces of yourself along the way. But guess what? Those pieces are still yours. They're waiting. They're patient. They don't hold grudges. You can pick them back up anytime you're ready. There's no expiration date on healing, no penalty for forgetting, no shame in needing a little help finding your way back to yourself. If you ever feel lost again, just imagine yourself wandering into the emotional lost and found. Messy hair, mismatched socks, carrying half a coffee, and someone at the desk, me, will hand you back your sparkle, your courage, your hope. And I'm going to say you dropped this, baby, and you might want to hold on to it a little bit tighter next time. Thank you for visiting the Emotional Lost and Found, and remember to check your pockets before you leave, and your heart too. Stay weird, stay wonderful, and above all, stay you. And remember, life is just a movie, and our minds, they're the twists we never saw coming. Bye.